Hello guys, welcome back to another Bible study video. This week we're going to be talking all about patience. I'm not talking about the kind of patience like waiting for something. I'm talking about having patience with others. This is something that I struggle with, not all the time. I think that I have pretty good patience compared to a lot of people. However, I for one have been struggling a little more with it being pregnant because, you know, hormones, I haven't been sleeping that well, all that stuff. And so I've found that I have not had a lot of patience with people. And I know that's one thing that goes with the saying that we should love others as Christians and love everybody as Christians. When we are not being patient with those around us, no matter who it is, we are not showing them love in that moment. And so if you watch my New Year's resolution video from a few weeks back, I talked about how that is one of my New Year's resolutions, is to have more patience, because like I said, this pregnancy I have not had the best. In a few months, less than 2 months, I'm having a newborn and a toddler, so I'm not gonna be getting that much sleep. And for me, when I don't get a lot of sleep, my patience tends to wear thin. So it's something that I am working on now, and I want to continue to work on the rest of the year, and of course the rest of my life too. That's something that you continue to have to work at. Nobody has perfect patience, no matter who you are. I don't have a lot of wisdom when it comes to this, but I do have 5 passages that I want to share with you guys that are really speaking to me and really pushing me to have that patience, and I think it will continue to push me to have that patience. So I wanted to share them with you guys so that if you are working on your patience, you can hear these verses, maybe write them down, put them on a sticky note, whatever it is, and they can be encouragement for you to have some patience with others. The first verse is the verse that really just lays it out, that we are supposed to love and be patient with others. It is Ephesians 4:2, and it says, "Always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love." If we are loving others, we are being aware of their faults and being aware that everybody has faults, and we are being patient with them. Typically for me, when I lose patience with people is because they are not doing what I expected them to do. And that can be various things. Sometimes I can get easily frustrated with my husband Adam because I think he should be doing this task in another timely manner, whereas he thinks he needs to do this other task first. Or it could just be where someone is annoying you and that may be their fault, and that is causing annoyance. But in that verse it says we are to have allowance for each other's faults. We are supposed to forgive each other's faults and have the patience with them because we love them. The second and third passage that I want to go over talk about what happens to me as a result of low patience, and that is typically I become a little angry. The first verse I want to talk about is Psalms 37 verse 8. "Stop being angry." Just straightforward right there. "Turn from your rage. Do not lose your temper. It only leads to harm." And I can only assume that the harm means to yourself, like your spiritual self down the road. If you are continually not patient and angry all the time, it's going to hurt you emotionally and spiritually. It also means that you're probably hurting others. I'm sure when I'm super frustrated with my son or my husband or somebody else in my life, it's hurting them. It's hurting their feelings. It's hurting our relationship maybe if it's something like that big. But long story short, the anger that comes with low patience is going to hurt somebody or multiple people, which is why we should try to have the patience, like we talked about, have allowance for others' faults, so that we don't have that continual pattern of anger. The third verse kind of goes with that one. It's Ecclesiastes 7:9, and it says, "Control your temper, for anger labels you a fool." For me, that is just my lovely reminder, because I do not think of myself as a dumb person. I think I'm a very smart person, and for the Bible to say that those who are quick to lose their temper are fools. I'm like, dang, I don't want to be a fool. So I am trying my best with my patience to not lose my patience, so therefore I won't have the anger that comes along with the patience being lost. The fourth one sort of goes with that, but I like this illustration because it shows the contrast between a person with anger versus a person who does not have anger, which to me, when I read this, since I'm thinking about patience, to me it reads as somebody who is quick to anger versus somebody who has patience. And it is Proverbs 15 verse 18. It says, a hot-tempered person starts fights. A cool-tempered person stops them. And that really brings me back to the whole, you know, scenario of like, if two people in this scenario have lost their patience. So think about like two parents or two friends, two co-workers, whatever it may be. If both of them have lost their patience and both of them are angry, there's going to be a fight. However, if you can be the person in that situation, you can't help what the other party is feeling, how angry they become, but you can control how you feel, and you can be the one to maybe not necessarily end whatever it is, because there are people out there, you know, that hold grudges and stuff like that. But as far as your internal peace, you can be that cool-tempered person to end the fight. You can't end the fight on both sides. You can't end the anger on both sides. You can't make the other person have patience, but you can have the patience and release that anger, or never even start that anger, and stop the fight that is happening. The last verse is the one that's going to keep me going with this. And this verse goes with a lot of different things in life. But like I said, a lot of these verses I'm thinking of in the mindset of trying to have patience this year. But it is Galatians 6 verse 9. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessings if we don't give up. And that's a big one with any New Year's resolution. Even though it's hard, it's super hard to have patience. The easy route is to lose your patience and become angry and blow up, but that's not what the Bible says to do. I know I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but in today's culture there's this whole like you do you type thing, and like really you do whatever you want to do basically is the voice of mainstream culture now, and that's just not the truth. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, but what we're supposed to do as Christians is we're supposed to do good. And to be quite frank, a lot of things that we want to do a lot of times as Christians are not for the good of Christ. And the whole you do you thing doesn't apply. It should be like you do what God wants you to do, honestly. So this verse I feel like is really good because we're supposed to be pushed to do good the way Christ would, and it's really hard. It's hard sometimes to choose to do what you don't want to do because it's the right thing. But in that verse it says, if you continually do good and you don't grow weary of that, because like I said, it's not easy, you're gonna get tired and want to fall back into not having patience and being quick to anger. But eventually, not today, not tomorrow, maybe not even in a month, but eventually you will get that blessing that is coming with you continuing to do good and to work on having patience with others. So that's the 5 verses that I have found lately that have really been speaking to me. There's a lot of verses on patience, but these verses specifically talk about having patience with others. Hopefully those verses were helpful for you, and we can work through this together to try and have more patience in the new year and continuing on through this year. Let me know what you thought of these verses, any thoughts you had while you were listening to them or you're reading them on your own. And I'm excited to continue to do the good so that we can reap our blessings. But that is it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!